So 6 years ago, I came to Cambodia to build a school. So through a corporate social responsibility project with the corporation I worked in. So my background is I'm a civil engineer, but I was in a marketing management role with a Swiss corporation. And we came to build a school in Takeo province. And that changed my life, basically. So what I found, so we stayed here, 9 of us, and we found that our perception of Cambodian problems was very distorted. So when I stayed with Linda's family, Linda's auntie was actually the person who is actually a change maker in my view. The real change maker in the community, her family is, so, and it goes for generations. And so and they were both teachers, so husband-wife team, and they were running this homestay. They had a small school here where Dara used to come in. And so I found that during our stay, the Cambodia's challenge was not actually schools. Cambodia had actually a lot of schools. It has 4,000 NGOs, and it had charity fatigue. So it was actually the second Africa. And actually there were $5 billion US dollar had come to Cambodia over 10 years time, and it had actually gone to wrong hands. And there are actually books written about it, so it's not just a speculation. So all that money actually went to how Africa works. So it goes into wrong hands and never reach people. And I could experience that in the village. And Linda's auntie said, so I was actually very confused. And I asked her, what did she think of our project? And because I was sitting down with their families out of all other team members, I really connected deeply with them. And I think one of the reasons was I'm Asian. And I could understand West and I could understand East. And I said to them, I know something is not right, but please tell me. I know how Asians work. They never give you direct feedback. It's an Asian culture. They will basically go around circle, but they will never want to hurt your feelings. And usually they get hurt during the process, right? So for me, I'm Indian by blood. I grew up in Canada, work in UK. So for me, I said to them directly, please tell me, because I know something is not right. So I'm actually confused. So she said, I said, what do you think this school will work? She said, no, because Cambodia don't need schools. Cambodia needs teacher training. Because she said she'd been teacher for 25 years and she didn't have single training. And she said it's the quality of teaching that's suffering. And second thing is people don't see the value of education, because she said when girls especially reach grade 9, 75% of them drop out of school. And they go to work in the farms, they get married when they are 19. So their whole purpose is say, okay, grade 9, 14-year-old, and now there are many factories. So you could actually, so there is demand of young labor. So she said, and when I realized actually the second biggest problem was people had no money. So it doesn't matter what you do, the whole thing is about survival. So she said, so people actually will never send their children to our school because we were asking for $1 to $2 a month for a child because it was a social project, social business project. And I was surprised that, right, really? She goes, yeah, people have no cash income. So 9 months out of the year, there is no really any income. And 3 months out of the year, they go to the rice field and they get paid by normally through rice. So the biggest issue was the cash flow. So she said it would be great if there was some other way of teaching people how to fish. Because she said she'd been giving fish to many people, so she built wells, pumps, toilets, and she worked with United Nations, BSO, many NGOs as a translator. And she said, I don't want that in my village, because any village that gets that, get this fatigue. An example was Siem Reap is the second poorest province of Cambodia and has the largest number of NGOs. And she said she does that as a translator, but she doesn't welcome that into the village. She did. She said people don't look after the toilets, and she gave an example of one of our weavers. It took us 5 years to join us, but she said that is the poorest house in our village, and I gave them a toilet. They still come shit in my backyard. That was her words, right?
Yeah.
She goes, I'm tired of giving. More I try, more people ask me. So she said, I said to that, I am actually very not pro aid. I dislike the idea of aid and charity, right? Because I came from business background, so you never run a business like NGOs are run. Right? So there's a lot of wastage and a lot of inexperienced volunteers coming in trying to do things they don't know. So I said to her that I have an idea that I had learned from Professor Muhammad Yunus, who you probably, some of you know. He is a Nobel Prize laureate from Bangladesh. So I had met him in a conference. So he actually transformed the life of 9 million women in Bangladesh. I'm sure you've heard of him. So when I had heard a few years prior to that, when I was here, it came, I said, that idea could be applied here. So that's when I shared it with Sipan. I show her a TED talk where Yunus talks about how $27 investment from his own pocket started the whole concept. And he was saying that it's not the money that people need. People need dignity, which Gandhi also said, right? People need personal empowerment. And money actually does the opposite thing, right? So he said, so I thought, okay, $27. And I said to Sipan, we could have, and she said, I would love to do that. So for me, I was used to taking big budget in the corporate sector and developing products and marketing it. For me, it became very interesting. I said, I want to actually do the same thing. How can we start what we call $200 enterprise that could generate minimum $200 a month within a month? So that was a challenge that I said to myself. So can we start something that will be $200 and one enterprise, which we call this loom, will be so fast that within a month she started to give that woman $200 because no one has the patience to wait. So it was, of course I didn't know how to do it, right? So it was very, and we didn't want to experiment because Sipan said to me, there are so many projects that fail and people actually don't believe. So no one actually believed other than Sipan in the family. The entire family was doubtful. They were scared. They said, this man gonna come here with this idea and he may go back because he's gonna fly away and we will lose the face. So Sipan's husband, even Sipan's husband was scared to death. But Sipan was a strong woman, so Leslie and you guys know. So she really bought into this, and we said, okay, so this area was actually a pond, and we made a very simple shack from the money that we had, our own savings. And it was very small, so it was actually $5,600. So we built a very simple shack, and if we said, okay, let's now create a success. Idea was there are 400 families in this village. The theory of change was if we can take 6 women, which Yunus did, and create a multiplier effect that one day the entire village will change, and then maybe other Cambodian villages can come and see. So we had a perfect homestay, we had a perfect location, and we had foreigners also visiting, and very off the beaten track tourists. So they don't come, so usually people who come here, they are actually looking for the cultural experience. So they really want to know how Cambodia works. So we were very fortunate. We knew that we could actually sell all the scarves. We hoped that we will sell all the scarves from this place, right? But we were not sure, of course, right? And then we took 6 women, and Sipan, and the criteria was there has to be the worst case. So like the families she thought were kind of, they have given up hope. So no education, no job, have some deeper issues like alcoholism, family violence, And she picked up right away. She said, I know these women.